What's up, fellas? Man, do I have a lot to tell you guys tonight. First things first, I got to thank the Most High. You gotta, it's time, man. It's really time for us to start, as men, to start developing our discipline, man. Because with life, and doing things worthwhile, there is times where you wouldn't feel like doing things. You wouldn't feel like I didn't feel like recording this video. I didn't feel like going to the gym earlier, or anything like that. So when you want to do worthwhile things in life, you got to develop that discipline to do it when you don't feel like doing it, and create the mindset and the self image to where you do things even when you're not even motivated, because the constant thinking and belief that you got to be motivated every time, every day, or every fucking second when you want to do something. That's a crazy and weak way to go about things, because you're not always gonna feel motivated. You're not always gonna be feeling positive on a daily basis to do the things that you actually want to do. So one thing I realized, man, is that once you realize that you want to do something, and then when it comes time to do it and there's a different feeling that comes up, remind yourself that this is actually what you want to do. And you got to remind yourself also that for your self image, for your subconscious mind, for rewiring and rewriting those things in your brain, it's necessary for you to follow through. And when you start developing that mindset and that way of going about that self image and that way of going about things, then you start paying more respect and loving yourself more. Self love is not just about loving yourself and doing the small things. You got to also follow through and do the hard things and the big things, because you can say I love myself all you want, but if that's not developed and followed through with action, then what are you really doing? You know, self-respect, self-esteem, all that, it comes from having positive intentions and also executing. You got to execute as a man or as a person. Honestly, you got to execute. If you don't execute, then where are you going? Where's your life gonna go? Do you want to sit down and do nothing with your life? Maybe some people are like that. Maybe they don't care, but that's not something for me. And if you're watching this video, I'm pretty sure that's not something that you want for your life. So why you know, you might as well. It's the nature of the beast, man. Develop a mindset of being a superhero. Because when you become and you realize that that's the path you're on, the superhero path, then you realize suffering, not feeling like doing things and doing it anyways, just following through with your life, it starts to make sense once you realize you're on that superhero journey, and that's the the life path that you're on. That's the purpose for your you being here. So one thing I will always say, man, is to anybody, if I was talking to my younger self, is follow through on your word. Follow through on your word, man, because all you have is your word. And if you don't, if you if you don't follow through on your word, if you don't believe the things that you're saying to yourself, then that's a fucking terrible way to live, right? That's a terrible existence to have, to be, or that's a terrible person to even be around. I've been there. I've been there where I would stop saying certain things to myself because I knew I wasn't gonna follow through, and that doesn't sit right with me right now. Even talking about it, that's the place that I was in, and that's how I was carrying myself. And that's part of my story, so I'll be able to relate to people that's trying to get out of that. So, there's nothing. I don't resent myself a little down on myself anymore for doing that. But I know, and I felt just the way my life was when I was thinking that way. And when you're in that position where you're doubting yourself, or you're not even saying things to yourself, because you're not gonna follow through, that self doubt and that self deprecation, self hate, that shit doesn't make sense, man. It doesn't make sense at all. At a certain point, you gotta realize and gain the courage to finally follow through with the things that you're saying. I always say, find a will to win, find a way to win, and both of those. And that works with everything. It works with everything. Follow through, find a will to win, and find a way to win. And once you realize that there's always a way to win, you can always find a way to win. Maybe it's like you're not feeling like going to the gym, so you decide, man, I'm gonna play this motivational video, so I start feeling that feeling, and then I'll go to the gym. There's always ways to figure things out, but you got to be willing to figure it out. You got to be willing to figure it out. You got to be willing and just willing and committed to yourself. If you're not committed to you and the person that you are and the person that you want to become, then why would anybody else be committed to you? And why wouldn't you want to be committed to you? You committed to everybody else. You helping everybody else out. You putting everybody else's needs first. But you're not committing to you. Why would you do that to yourself? Or why would you want to, now that you've seen this video, why would you want to continue doing that, knowing that it's detrimental to you? And the only way you can take care of other people, you got to put you first. You got to take care of you first. Learn how to take care of you. Learn how to love you. Learn how to forgive you, all those things. And then you'll be able to pass it to other people. But if you keep just putting yourself on the back burner and putting everybody else in front of you, come on. That's not going to lead you anywhere. You're going to end up in a place where you don't want to be, where you don't love yourself, where you don't care about yourself, where you resent yourself. And that's the worst place to be, man. You self-resentment and self-hate, that's a terrible place to be. And that's not a place I would wish on anyone. Not myself, not my enemies, no one. I've been there and I've done that, and I don't want to do that no more. That's not where I want to be. Of course I'm not perfect. I make mistakes on a daily basis. I'm human. But not putting myself first, putting everybody else's needs in front of mine, not committing to me, I know I'm not doing that no more. So, and I'll hope that as long as you're watching this video and you're in this space, in the self-improvement space, I hope you wouldn't want to be putting yourself on the back burner anymore either. Because once you realize, when you to go back to what I was saying in the beginning, follow through with your word and keeping the promises that you tell yourself, doing the things that you actually want to do, even when the feelings of you not wanting to do it comes around. Once you get to that space and you start feeling good about yourself, you don't want to go back. Why would you want to go back? I see people every day, cheating themselves. Maybe it's their diet, maybe it's skipping out on the gym, or just doing a lot of this, but not a lot of this. doing talking the talk, doing all that, but not walking the walk. And you can see it. You can see it in them. You can look at a person in real and see who they are, and see that they don't follow through on their word. You know what I mean? And then you realize like they're only cheating themselves. They're only lying to themselves. You might think, oh, I lied to that guy when he asked me this question. But that guy doesn't really give a fuck. He cares more about his life. He's not here thinking whether whether you lied to him or not. You know, at the end of the day, he cares about his life. And one thing I realized, my mom will always say this shit to me, is that you're only lying to yourself. You're only cheating yourself. So why would you would cheat on a math test, or it's the little things my mom's used to say about school and stuff like that. She said, the only person you're cheating is yourself. You're not cheating nobody else. You're cheating yourself. So you chose not to study, and now you're cheating off of somebody else. So who are you setting back? You're setting yourself back. You're not setting. You're not cheating nobody else. You're setting yourself back. You know what I mean? So avoiding your responsibilities as a person, you might think is freedom. That shit ain't free. That shit ain't free at all. How much would you evade your responsibilities? How long would you evade your responsibilities? Until it starts piling up on your ass. Right? The truest freedom is discipline. The truest freedom is structure. Because without structure, everything falls apart. Just look at what's going on right now in the world with men and women, children, all of these things. Just look at what's going on in the world. And what's that? It's a lack of structure. It's not anything else. So without structure, there's no freedom. People might think they might be free by avoiding things, but it ends up biting you in the ass at the end of the day. So why would you want that? Why would you want a life of avoidance? A life with a lack of discipline? A life with no structure? Why would you want that type of shit for yourself? I've been overweight. And what led me there is me thinking I was free from eating bullshit every day. Eating fast food every day. And what did that lead to? That wasn't freedom. That shit led to a harder life. It led to lung problems. It led to sleep problems, relationship problems. It led to a lot of things. And who paid? Who paid after avoiding having a good, clean diet? Me. So don't do that to yourself, man. Don't do that to yourself. And as long as I'm here on this channel, I'm going to make sure that you guys learn from my mistakes and not the other way around. Peace.